Hello everyone. How many of you have eaten shrimp or fish in the last month? I assume most of us. What if I told you that the ocean ecosystems behind a lot of that seafood are disappearing fast, and scientists are racing to figure out how to fix them? Today, I want to talk to you about one of those strategies, coral restoration. Specifically, does it actually work? The answer might surprise you. First, a little background. Coral reefs are essentially the forests of the ocean. They cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, but support about a quarter of all marine life. On top of that, 1 billion people depend on them for food and income. However, the problem is that we've lost somewhere between 50 and 75% of the world's coral cover in just the past few decades, mostly because the warming oceans from climate change cause coral to bleach and die. When coral disappears, so do the fish and everything else built around it, and that has ripple effects that reach all the way to our dinner tables. One of the main responses to these dying reefs that I brought up has been coral restoration. Think of it like replanting a forest, but underwater. Scientists grow coral fragments in nurseries on the seafloor, attach those pieces to metal frames, and then place them on the reef to rebuild the physical structure that was lost, basically the nooks and crannies that fish use as shelter and feeding grounds. After that, they go back and check, are fish returning? Is it working? That last question, though, is harder to answer than you might think. The idea behind all of this is a hoped for chain reaction. If coral is planted, that coral should add structure, then fish move in, the fish help keep the reef healthy, and then the reef recovers on its own. It sounds logical, almost like how replanting trees can bring wildlife back to a cleared piece of land. But when scientists actually tested it, results were mixed. Some studies found that fish came back, while others found no effect at all, even after several years. The question of whether restoration truly works is essentially still being actively studied. Here's what the broader research shows, however. On severely damaged reefs, restoration can help bring fish back over months to years. In some Florida reef studies, the total number and weight of fish increased meaningfully at restoration sites. This works best with targeted restoration, in which the purpose is clearly defined and measurable outcomes are possible. However, on reefs that are already healthy and protected, fish don't seem to respond to added restoration structures since they already have what they need. Fish communities may take over a year to visibly respond to a new habitat as well. One result even remains consistent across almost every study, and it's that restoration alone can't overcome ocean warming from climate change. It's a tool, not a cure. Researchers at UNC Chapel Hill ran their own field test on a well-protected reef at Little Cayman in the Caribbean. They planted coral onto metal dome frames and then counted fish before, shortly after, and again 3 months later. The result? After nearly 3 months, virtually nothing changed. Not the number of fish, not the variety of species, not the total weight of the fish community, not even when broken down by type of fish like plant eaters or meat eaters. Their conclusion was that on an already healthy reef, fish simply do not need the extra structure. The domes weren't solving a problem that existed there. So, what does all this mean? Three things. First, context matters. Restoration works best on reefs that have already lost their physical structure, not on healthy ones. Second, time matters. Fish may take longer than a few months to show changes, and feature studies need longer windows to get the full picture. Third, the root cause matters most. No amount of replanting can ever fix warming oceans, but reducing carbon emissions is the only thing that addresses why reefs are dying worldwide. Restoration is a valuable tool, but it works best alongside serious action on the bigger problem. Now, what exactly can you do about all this then? One of the best ways to protect reefs is to support policies that reduce carbon emissions. Being thoughtful about where your seafood comes from and looking for sustainably sourced options is another great way to help coral restoration. You can also support organizations working directly on conserving reefs or simply just talk about it. Most people have no idea how serious reef decline is, and spreading awareness can help spark change. The scientists at UNC are doing the hard work of asking questions about what actually works, and now you know little of what they found. Thank you.